Hey guys, how's it going? My name's the Breph, and welcome to another challenge video. Today I'm asking the question, can you beat Pokémon Gold with only an Onix? Onix is a giant rock snake thing of questionable design that I certainly won't be playing off of. Before we say anything else about this video, I want to give a shout out to Max Marks, who correctly identified the name of our battle toy from the last one, although we did have some very good and accurate other guesses. Now, if I told you that Onix had a base stat total of 385, would you be impressed? You might even think that it's going to be too powerful. Well, you'd be mistaken. Onix's stats may total that 385 mark, but it certainly isn't a beast. 160 physical defense is outstanding with no question, but 45 attack and 30 special attack pretty much point out how this is gonna go. Now thankfully for us, there are ways to increase that physical attack, with items to hold and specialised and focused training, both of which I plan to do. Looking forward, I think I'm going to be struggling against Chuck, Jasmine and Price in Johto, and Misty, Erica, Sabrina, Blue and Red in Kanto. Key for me will be doing everything I can to maximise that attack stat, because when we come up against Red's Blastoise, we're going to need it to stand any chance. Being 4 times weak to water is something I need to be very, very wary of. There are, as ever with these challenges, a strict set of rules that I have to follow in order to give the best possible results for you, the ladies and gentlemen of the internet. They're as simple as Joey Essex and more a bitch than Carol Baskin. Onix only in battle, no items are allowed in said battles, and finally, TM usage is perfectly allowed. I can't say I'm too keen on this, but there's only one thing to do, and that's to get on with it. The game begins and we don't get to choose a character, naming ourselves the rock-steadily inventive name of Breph. We enter the lab and get given our Onix, nicknaming the beast Anal Beads. If it wasn't on your mind, it is now, because I told you it was of questionable design. From there, we run up the road to Mr. Pokemon's house and collect a beautiful gifted egg, bumping into Professor Oak and getting given a Pokedex that will serve a vital purpose on our journey to come, I'm sure. On the way back, Professor Elm gives us a ring and tells us that something dastardly has occurred and that we need to get back as soon as possible. On that journey, we bump into a red-headed individual who mouths off about how cancelling the Premier League season would be unfair because they're a dirty Liverpool fan. We prove that they will always walk alone and confess to the police that we've learned this person's name, Emily. Named after Emily Fravel, who requested this challenge in the comments. With that, we set off on our adventure, first travelling up the Sprout Tower and collecting the HM for Flash from the old man up there. This took way too many trips back and forth. Being 4 times weak to grass and going up against grass types with special attacking moves took too long. With that done, we can go and challenge Faulkner, the first leader of many and also the flying type user. An easy advantage for us, right, given that we're level 19. You'd be right actually, apart from the nastiness of Mud Slap lowering our accuracy and actually hitting the target. With that done, we get to move on. Where though? Down to Bugsy's gym. With Bug being weak to rock, we haven't really encountered too much of an issue in this game yet. Although that was always going to be the case in this generation. There are 2 badges down and only 6 more to go. On the way towards the Ilex Forest, we run into Emily again, who challenges us to a brutal battle. Brutal for her. Her whole team are technically weak to us in one way or another, so I don't really think it comes as a surprise that we defeat her and walk through to Goldenrod. Here we encounter the 3rd gym badge, Whitney, the infamous normal type user. Against a rock type defensive powerhouse named Anal Beads, she stands very little to no chance. This was a fight that was made all the easier by doing it on a Sunday and getting the return TM on us. From there we head towards Morty, stopping off on the way to water a plant that clearly didn't enjoy the situation. While doing that, I decide that I'd rather tackle all the fights available to us first, and that includes the Burnt Tower with another encounter with Emily. Her Haunter and Magnemite both find themselves weak to Mud Slap, Rock Throw deals with Quilava and Zubat. After that, I head off to do some grinding. Well, maybe not grinding per se, but more trainer fights. When I'm done with that decimation, we head in to challenge Morty. His Pokemon are all part poison type, and in the generation without the levitate ability, Mudslap is perfectly effective. We did, however, need every single one of our Mudslap PP, beating the spooky man with the final spanking. With that now done, there's important mission stuff to do, and by that I mean ascending a lighthouse to get told to go across some water and collect something for a sick creature. So over we go to Cyanwood, where we walk in on someone who gives off creepier vibes than Madonna in a Malawian orphanage. He gives us some special pills to give the Pokemon in the lighthouse, and sends us on our way. I do a little bit of work here and head in to challenge Chuck, at the first time being level 48. I learned very swiftly that a single surf is enough to do me in from full health. So I run off and grind up hard to level 53. Even here, I took a number of painful attempts. Luckily for us, we get one single lucky run where we hang on with only 10 HP. Mad. Just mad. Chuck has been humiliated and has taken a brutal pounding from our anal beads. Sliding on out of that cavernous place, we return to the light room and deliver the narcotic to the sick creature. Turned out it was just some rattling and the junkie perks up again to full power. That means we have to fight Jasmine. I hate Jasmine. I hate Jasmine. Us being a rock type means that we are weak to steel. The only advantages that we have are that 160 base defense stat and a super effective move in Mudslap. We use all of our PP on Steelix and have to resort to return to finish off the fight. Don't worry, no jokes about Jasmine and a brutal session with anal beads this time. I mean, I'd never do something like that. Well, to be honest, that was the big section of the game I was afraid of more than any other. With that fight done, we make our way over nicely to the Lake of Rage, where we encounter a rare and unique Gyarados in its shiny form. We destroy it with a single rock throw and bump into a bloke wearing a cape. Strange. He asks us to help him before spinning off into the sky. Heading to the place where we're asked to meet him, we learn just how no-nonsense this guy actually is when he uses Hyper Beam on a bloke, sending him flying backwards. Shit, remind me not to get on this geezer's bad side. With that, we head into the Rocket Hideout 2.0 and make our way through it, ultimately destroying the generator beneath and gaining entry to our penultimate Johto badge, Price. Before I started this, I was a touch worried, but by the time we got here, we were over-leveled as all hell, and Return is a powerful move. We sweep his entire squad aside without taking a single point of damage. Stepping outside the gym, Professor Elm rings us again, sending us on a wild goose chase around to locate the director of the radio tower who mysteriously has gone missing. Running around, we learn he's being held underground, but on the way, Emily steps forth and tries to challenge us. Her team is pretty good for us in truth. Golbat, Quilava and Sneasel go down with the aid of Rock Throw, and Mudslap still deals with Magnemite and Haunter. With that done, we locate the director and rescue the radio station from hostage. Completing our side mission admirably, we make our way through to Blackthorn and the Dragon-type leader, Claire. First attempt comes at level 61. Now Return is strong, but the Surf is stronger. Kingdra knocks us out with simplistic ease. In fact, I learn after many more tries that I can't do it, because from full health, that thing can still knock us out. Yeah, standing no chance, I have no other option than to go off on a grind, and that's exactly what I do. Coming back to try again at level 69. Nice. What's not so nice is that I learn that we still can't do it. Yeah, we're seeing the ungodly side of Onix here. 4 times weak to water with a terrible special defense stat too. Level 78, and we come back to find out just how close we were to being sent back on the grind. Surviving this fight on only 3 HP was nerve-wracking, but mainly just relief that we survived. With all 8 badges in our possession, we have the last section of the Johto journey left to complete, the Pokémon League. Making our way up through Victory Road, we get stopped by Emily for the final time. Her team really hasn't grown any more impressive since the last time we fought her. Same as before, team members go down way too easily. We spank her so badly that this time she runs away, never to be seen again. Making our way into the league, we step through the door and begin the gauntlet. Will is up first, and his psychic types don't really scare me. Both Xatu are weak to rock throw, and everything else is destroyed fairly easily with the thanks to return. That was relatively painless actually. When we walk in to face Koga, I'm fairly confident. Earthquake is a nice move for covering poison types, but he counters us by having flying type members. He clearly didn't factor in someone trying this with an Onix though, because we win pretty damn easily. Third up is Bruno, potentially scary with fighting type members. That insanely high defense stat comes out trumps yet again, and not even close, as a cross chop from Machamp doesn't have any real effect on us. Return finishes off the job on every member except Onix, and we've only got Karen left of the 4. When she doesn't get her own way and speak to the manager, Karen decides to attack. Bad idea really, because she didn't stand any sort of chance. By the end of the engagement, she's left seething and reeling because she's realised how futile her efforts were. Champion Lance is all that remains. Lance the Dragon Master has a team of powerful beasts under his control. The bad news for him? They're all weak to rock. Good news for us? We have a rock type move that also just happens to be stab. Just like that, we've defeated the Johto League and cemented our place in the Hall of Fame. But alas, this game is not yet done. We have a new task to complete. 8 more badges and a fight against a young boy on a mountain. Kanto awaits, so let's go. I decide that I'm going to tackle this region in reverse order. Why? Because I can, that's why. We pick up leftovers as our held item, and that means that Blue is up first in Viridian. Pidgeot goes down thanks to a couple of rock throws, bringing out Exeggutor. It goes for Solar Beam, and a couple of returns later, it's down too. Alakazam faints nicely after return, and Rhydon, when it comes out, is sent packing thanks to Earthquake. Thank God that Gyarados misses its Hydro Pump when it does, because a single rock throw that hits takes it out. Last member is Arcanine, and boom, Earthquake has knocked it down. The first badge of the new region is here. Second up, and yes, it's incredibly weird to say this, is Blaine. Magcargo has 4 times weakness to ground, and that's one of the reasons I plan to use it for a future video. But in this instance, it helps us out, and 3 Earthquakes decimate his entire team. Third badge is Sabrina, the Psychic type. Similarly enough to Blaine, she only needed 3 returns to destroy. I'm finding this way too easy, and it has me nervous for future battles. Fourth in line for the beads is Janine, and just like her father, she wields poison type members. Poison type members who fared just as well as Koga's did. An easy enough victory for me. Erica's time has come, and the grass types do worry me. Until we start fighting, that is. All the training we'd done on top of having max power return, yeah, it wasn't too hard for us. Lieutenant Surge runs an electric type gym in the presence of a ground type Pokemon. I opt for Sandstorm first because I figured it's best to get some use, eh? Earthquake pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Misty scares me. That Lapras does more than anything else. However, thankfully for us, we tackled this in reverse order, so we're a higher level and she's a lower one. The good news is that Return and Earthquake pretty much seal the whole deal. And that just leaves Brock, and although he does have a couple of water type members on his team, Earthquake is totally and utterly overpowered at this point. We did a lot of training off of Goldeen. By my calculations, we should have maximum attack EVs at this point. If we're going to stand any chance against Red, it's gonna be now. With all 8 badges down, we max out our level for ultimate advantage, and up Mount Silver we go. In truth guys, this took me a very long time. I spent over an hour on attempts just here, and I could not find any easy solution to this fight. I did learn a lot though. Pikachu isn't an issue as long as it doesn't use Charm. Blastoise is still a worry, but Earthquake is actually within a range. a high damage roll, and we should be able to win that one. I think this might just be possible. And now I have a confession. Whatever I did, I could not get the stars to align in a run that put it all together. Now, I abhor save states on an emulator, but at this point in the recording, it was something ridiculous like 4 AM, and I was way too tired. I just wanted it done. Say what you like about this, whether you'd call it cheating or a failure is up to you. I know how I'm calling it. This red fight is what I will refer to as segmented, meaning I did load save states during portions of the fight and then edited them down to be smooth, mainly because I hate transitional shots, and I will mention where I used them throughout. Pikachu sent out first, and on this attempt, thankfully it started with quick attack. Due to leftovers and the brutality of Earthquake, it was plenty good enough. Espeon comes out and falls away after another Earthquake, meaning he sends out Venusaur, and I outspeed it. However, the first attempt I used Rock Throw because I'm an idiot and a single Giga Drain ended me, so I reset using the save state. I use Earthquake again and the one shot kills it. Blastoise comes out and this thing was on a damage roll as I mentioned. Time after time it survived with barely any HP left, so save state after save state was reloaded. We do get a good Earthquake roll for once, and it goes down with a single shot just like I said it would. Snorlax came out and for some reason I had a mind blank and went for return, meaning it survived with minuscule HP, and fortunately for us, goes for Amnesia. No save states for the rest of the fight as Charizard comes out and falls to a single Rock Throw. With that, I've completed the game. I won't say I've done so successfully because save scumming isn't a strategy that I like using. I wouldn't say it's necessarily invalid as a strat because segmenting is a recognised thing in the speedrunning community, and I just wanted to be open with you guys. At the start of this challenge I asked a simple question: can you beat Pokémon Gold with only an Onix? The answer, as far as I'm concerned, is no, and I say that because of how I ended the thing with Red. I hope you can understand why I did that. I was way too tired and invested in this to rock up more hours, and I made a decision. Still, I hope you've learned a lot about Onix's capabilities. Right, so in the last one I said I'd give more information about the 4 options for that special video coming up at some point after the 1k sub mark. There is a poll out on Twitter, so feel free to go and vote, link is in the description. The simplest options are the Q&A and the Emerald Kaizo run. Q&A, well, that speaks for itself. You ask questions and I answer them. Emerald Kaizo is something I'm torn on. As someone who's never played the game, I need to know what you guys would think. Do I make it a challenge video and do the insane attempting a single Pokemon run? Would you prefer to see it as a series spread out over a number of parts, maybe with 2 released each week? Or would you like to see a single run through as a single video? Leave a comment and or a vote to voice your opinion. The other 2 are a touch more complex-ish. The standard challenge one could be something a little fun, something that doesn't fit with the standard challenge theme here on the channel, or something extra challenging. You let me know in the comments or on the poll what you think. Lastly, I mentioned a challenge compilation, and what I meant by that is maybe doing multiple challenge suggestions and run-throughs and then editing them down to make one long video. I was thinking of maybe doing 4 or 5 challenges and spending 5 minutes talking about each one. They'll be short, sweet and simple, but I will have the footage to release on each of them should you want a full challenge at a later date. Who knows, it could be fun. The only way to let me know is to vote on the poll or in the comments. Right guys, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe for more content like this, and feel free to comment any challenge suggestions. I got quite a list on the go at the moment, but feel free to add to it. Please, join me next time, where I ask the question, can you beat Pokemon Yellow with only a Magnemite? Again, thank you all so much for watching. Please do cast your vote in the comments and on Twitter, and I'll stop sounding like a broken record. I hope I will see you all in the next one.